Hey, how's it going, my super friends? I'm Marcelo. Thanks for watching the vid. Back at it again with the reviews, the first review of the year, and this is the reign of the Superman. Now, a sequel, animated film, some of my favorites in the DC universe. They produce great movies and some weird movies. More to say later on. But this one, I think it's a pleasure to say that I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was a good movie. It's a consistent sequel of sorts to the larger than life expectations of the action-packed source material. And if you haven't read it, if you haven't read Reign of the Superman from the comics, you'll still like it, because this is a compelling story. It's well crafted, it's silly, it's shamelessly silly at the core level, but it takes another step away, you know, from the problematic issues that DC has had from recent years, specifically the DC animated film universe. So it's a step up, I think. Well, a small step. But yeah, if you were not satisfied with the death of Superman, I think this improved sequel will be worth your time, worth your money. Depends on where you buy it, because mine was pretty cheap. Maybe it's not worth your money, but it's heightened. It has some heightened superhero shenanigans. Now I want to do this different way. I'm going to give you negatives, so points, you know, bullet points that I wrote down while watching the movie. I'll start with negatives first, and I think the biggest negative in the movie was the cringe-worthy script. And yeah, dude, I found it a little bit cringy. Some parts were really cringy. Reign of the Superman is not also written by Peter Tomasi, who's a writer of The Death of Superman. Now, Tim Sheridan and Jim Krieg, or Craig, I don't know how to pronounce the name, they take over the scripting duties, and the latter worked on the Batman and Harley Quinn animated film, which was atrocious, messed up. I think I have a review of that movie. Go check it out on my channel, but I'm not a fan of the movie. Yeah. So The Death of Superman has its own share of writing issues, but the Reign of the Superman goes into the cringe-worthy territory, and it has unnecessary quips. They're not clever enough for adults, so adults are not gonna be like laughing their asses off, and it's not for kids. It's not funny enough for kids. So I didn't know where to land with these jokes. I didn't know if I had to laugh or cringe at them, so I just ended up cringing. It's weird. There are some wildly needless attempts to make the story seem current, like it's with the occasional forced references to social media and dating the film just badly. Just the script was weird, and the sexism with this guy over here with Superboy was a little bit funny. Just like I giggled a little bit because it was so weird, so dumb. Like being sexist with Wonder Woman, it was cringeworthy. I had to talk about that because the script, specifically Superboy, didn't do it for me. Just a big juvenile tone and low effort gags, they just fall flat. The next one is a cheap animation, the next negative point. And Reign of the Superman is certainly a better looking film than the predecessor. We got director Sam Liu taking advantage of the various Superman matchups to the entertaining ends. However, I think Warner Brothers has proven themselves notoriously stingy in recent years with their animated offerings. They're keeping the budgets as low as possible just to maximize profits at the expense of visuals. That's what I think they're doing. I mean, sometimes they do the source material justice, sometimes they don't. And the animation in this movie, they don't look like most of the movies in the DC animated universe. You know, The Death of Superman and this one, they combined 2D animation and CGI elements. It just makes it look garish, ugly, especially with dimensional portals you're looking at there. With the arrival of Darkseid, I just didn't like it. Felt really flat. The smoke clouds and the explosions are also distractingly fade out quickly, you know, rather than just disappear naturally. The animation is not well done. And during the third act, the budget constraints are super obvious. Like they didn't have money to do that shit, and they try to do it, and I didn't like it. Fell flat. Bad animation. Next, we got the pointless cameos. I am a sucker for cameos. I love Cameos. Well done, Cameos. Well done, man. These are pointless. I mean, Superman spends a decent chunk of a movie out of commission. He's nowhere to be seen. He's dead, right? He's dead. And this is a rare case of a DC animated movie where some meaningful cameos from the Justice League would just be totally welcome. However, there's precious little substance to the cameos from the League. They just appear to show their faces like, hey, what up, I'm Flash. I'm fast, I'm out. And that's it. That's it. They drop a few lines, they explain why they're away, and that's it. Just super fast cameos just to show their faces. Crazy. These moments are just basically unambitious, crowd-pleasing fare, yet given Superman's absence, I think there was a potential for them to be so much more. Like, give a heart-to-heart with the audience, or say something about Superman, but it was just for the sake of it. I didn't like that at all. And it doesn't really bother me in other movies, but this one I kind of felt it more. I don't know, maybe you agree or not when you watch the movie, or if you've seen the movie, because obviously if you didn't see the title, I don't know why you're watching the vid. This is spoilers. So, spoilers, right? I didn't like it. And finally, the big negative bullet point I have is a tone. The movie doesn't find a tone, like, at all. Doesn't know what to do. And it's a common issue with Warner Brother animated films. I mean, they struggle to strike a consistent tone. The result is just mood whiplash, what I like to call it. Like, you don't know what to feel during the movie, because the movie is filled with really somber, really serious moments. They have drama, they have gravitas, but it is undercut later on with commitment to silly quips, and the story is often excessive outlandishness, specifically Cyborg Superman's ability to grant superpowers to regular people. I was like, what the hell is going on, man? Superboy with Wonder Woman, and then for example, we have the scene with Lois and Wonder Woman. They're mourning over Superman. It's a serious scene. I mean, and then just next we're just thrown to a scene with Superboy staring at Lois's chest and then trying to hit on her, like saying that he's old enough when she asks about his age. So I'm like, okay, this is some serious shit, dude. And then what the fuck is Superboy doing? So I don't know. It's a weird tone in the movie. I didn't like it, and it was a little bit frustrating. I didn't know I should be laughing, and then super fast, serious face. So I don't know. Flaws aside, I think it's a solid DC animation film, because here's everything that the movie got right. Now, bullet points. These are the things that I really liked about the movie. Let me start with adapting a really tough comic storyline to adapt, this is the reign of the Superman, dude. It's a silly story on paper, but it's impressive how faithfully it was adapted in animation. I mean, with a solid measure of success also. Sure, it has negative points, but a lot of good things too. A very long story has been condensed down to just 87 minutes. It manages to feel more concise and to the point than just rushed. So the pacing was there. The pacing was okay. It fully commits to the notion that Superman is dead for the bulk of the movie. Good shit. Rather than just hastening, like making his revival fast for commercial reasons, you know. They didn't do that. And every Superman fan is going to be super happy with the aesthetic of the black suit. Dude, the black suit Superman, whew, that was nice. A long hair, looked really nice. It's really tough to adapt. Tougher than the death of Superman. And it gets more right than it gets wrong. So that's pretty cool. Next up we have the voice cast. I'm a sucker for voice actors, dude. I really love them. I love the performances. And this movie had great, stronger showings from, stronger than the recent DC animated movies. So, I mean, Cameron Monaghan, Joker from Gotham, the cocky personality of Superboy, really well done. Patrick Fabian, splendid work as Cyborg Superman, and Rebecca Romijn as Lois Lane, really good stuff too. However, even if Darkseid was just like an afterthought in the film, Tony Todd's deep drawl is just perfect for the villain, and I love hearing his voice as Darkseid, and watching him perform was amazing. I really love it. Although Lex Luthor with his nasal voice, at least didn't go well for me. The voice actor does feel more at home in that role than any other time. So kind of like it. Whatever your issues, whatever the movie's issues, I think you can't knock the game commitment of the vocal cast, because that was amazing. Next up, the action sequences. So the action in the movie, you know, these are the things, the sequences, the parts of the movies that have to catch us. That's why we're watching it, because of the story and the action, especially a Superman film. It has to be there. And this movie is positively loaded with action, dude. Sam Liu again, forgot the director. I think he's a great action director. He mostly delivers on the various matchups that we have to have between the Supermen. The set pieces are fast paced, they are dynamic, they have destruction. Man of Steel fans, we got destruction too, baby. Yeah, and though the constrained budget, it just clearly places a ceiling on the potential, especially in the third act. I think Liu serves up enough superpowered carnage to satisfy the fans, and I appreciate it. Really well done. There's just enough downtime between fights to let the audience cool off. Just, okay, get ready for the next thing. And before you know it, boom, the metahumans are added once again. Really well done action sequences. The musical score. Again, I'm a sucker, dude. I'm a sucker for music, for scores. I love them. I have playlists for various DC animated films and their scores. Star Wars, big score fan. But these, I mean, the composers in these movies don't tend to get a whole lot of credit. And in fairness, I mean, it's usually because their musical scores sound really cheap. Come on, you've heard them in recent films. Not even recent, like a lot of DC animated films have, you don't remember the scores. They're derivative, they're quickly churned out. But dude, Frederick Whitman has been DC Animation's low-key MVP, dude, for quite some time. Frederick, evocative score from last year's Batman Gotham by Gaslight. He's the most creative musical arrangement I've heard from any DC animated film, dude, in many years. And this one is a more traditional tone, but it still leaps and bounds ahead of the usual bland orchestral fare, you know, just nailing a sure intensity during the many action sequences and helping boost the emotional resonance when it matters most. And I enjoyed it. If Warner Brothers is smart, they'll keep Wheatman or Wet. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I don't know how to pronounce it. Wheatman, Wetman. They have to keep him scoring many of the movies, just as long as he wants, because the guy is really good. Next up, the second to last point I'm doing is the bittersweet ending. And Reign of the Superman ends on this bittersweet note. I mean, people are celebrating the return of Superman. It serves as a great summation of why fans love him. And it also doesn't forget the human casualties, you know, brought about by Darkseid and company, you know, all the villains. Like, for instance, we have this moment where a woman is observing the corpse of her boyfriend, who was transformed into a superpowered entity by cyborg Superman and died, which is unsettling. It's a serious scene. And given that even the live action DC movies have struggled to fully reconcile the human cost of superhero showdowns, Reign of the Superman bowed out in surprisingly classy, thoughtful fashion. And I love that. I didn't expect that seriousness, that maturity. Really cool stuff. And finally, the awesome post-credits scene. Dude, make sure if you're watching my vid and you didn't see the whole movie, go back and watch it until the end. Because that Reign of the Superman's credits, whoo, it's a stinger. It's gonna sting you. Like, ooh, dang, that was good. It's really cool. It's an amusing tease for what might be coming next and whether or not it's a genuine setup or just a throwaway nod. Some people are saying it could lead to Darkseid Wars, which in recent years, I think it was 2016, I don't remember, but it's a big comic book event. And also, Superman changed his costume, his suit. Finally. I'm like, he finally changed the stupid New 52 thing, and now he has the rebirth looking suit, and looks amazing. Finally changed that dumb neck thing. And I'm really glad about it. And I think that's it, dude. Speculate. If you saw this scene, tell me what do you think? What's gonna happen? What's next? And my friends, if you made it to the video, to the end of the video, I thank you. Thank you for watching my review of Reign of the Supermen. I am Memo Sebo. If you liked it, man, click the like button, click the thumbs up button. Helps me a lot. Here are my social medias, my Twitter, my Instagram is just Memo Sebo. Go follow me. I'm really active over there. I post updates. I tell you what I'm working on, what's next for the YouTube channel. And I'm glad you're here again, dude. This is my first review of the year. I'm back at it. I'm doing more comic book reviews. I did Invaders #1, which is up in the channel now. My Far From Home trailer breakdown with Evan is also up, and more videos coming your way. I thank you again, and I'll probably see you in the next one.